In this video, I am going to explain about how to read a comma separated value format file using Pandas library in Python. So I will show you before executing the program. First, I will explain the program. What are the different functions that are helpful to read a CSV file format? I will show you now. This is a file. Okay, I already maintained that program. First, I will explain why we need all these lines of code to read a file and to retrieve certain data. If you see here, first the statement is import pandas as PD. So pandas is the name of the library, PD is the alias name for that library. You see, just I'm increasing the font size, you can watch it. Yeah, so first job is we need to import the required libraries that are need to our application. And next one, my next aim is I want to read a file using a function, built-in function that is called read underscore CSV. Read underscore CSV. Okay. See, this can be accessed with the help of PD. This can be accessed with the help of PD, and it returns something to us. When we are trying to read, it returns a pointer, a file pointer kind of information that is maintained in a variable that is called df. So actually df means in our point of view, it is like a data frame. You can give any name, but here meaningful purposes I given it as a df. Whatever the pointer that is written by read CSV, because it is initially pointing to the first line of the code. Yeah, after iteration, second line, after iteration, next iteration, third line, fourth line, till it will reach last line of the code, last line of the file. And the name of the file is here data.csv. So our we need to pass an input file to run this program with the name data.csv. Okay, CSV means comma separated values. The values are separated by comma, and the name of the file is data.csv. We are going to save this application in our local directory. In the same directory, we need to create a file with the name data.csv, and we need to save both the files, both input files and this source code should be saved in a same folder, that is called same directory. Now, after reading, I want to read the first two lines. The first two lines means the first two rows in that file. So how can I do it? There is a method called head method. I can access the head method. I can pass a number. If I pass 2, then it reads the first two lines, the top two lines. Okay. So before printing that result, I am displaying a message that is the following two records are related to first two records. Okay, or the records are first two records or last two records or middle records. How can we know that? So that is the reason I provided a message before displaying the result. Similarly, I provided one more result that is used to read last two rows using the tail function. I will show you. I will highlight with some colors. This one. And this is head is a function defined in pandas library. Tail is a function that is also defined in pandas library, and here pandas is the library that is imported at the beginning of, okay, that is the first statement in our program, and we assigned an alias name. So whenever we are accessing the built-in functions that are defined inside the pandas library, I use the pd alias name using pd.read. Okay, once it returns some file pointer using df, I access df.head. Why I am applied head function by using df? Why? Because df is pointing the file pointer. So using, I can instruct that file pointer, go to the first two lines, go to the last two lines, go to somewhere else. Like that I can guide. Okay, and the next one, the same job, whatever the jobs is done by head function and tail function, that can also be done by using this one, that is I can show you. These two using slicing technique. Okay, using slicing techniques we can do it. So slicing, in case of slicing, what happens, the function, the file pointer name is df. Inside the df, we need to specify start index value colon stop index value. Here at the beginning I did not specify the starting index value colon end index value or stop index value. I specified it as 3. That means it starts from reading 0, 1, 2, it stops there. It won't consider the last index, that is called stop index. So 0 is pointing to the first row in our file. 1 index is pointing to the second row in our file. 2 index is pointing to the third row in our file. That is the reason it is displaying the first 3 records in our file. I can show you this one. You see this. You can see I am increasing the font size. Yeah. Here. So df of 3. So df of 3, you see here df of 3. So df is the name of the file pointer, square brackets. I did not specify the start index value colon. I specified the stop index value. So stop index value is clearly telling that you have to stop before this index. What is the before index of 3? 2. So starts from 0, 1, 2. So that means it prints the first 3 rows in the given file. Similarly, if I want to print the last 3 rows, then I can do it with the help of negative indexing. Beginning from the last third row up to last third row, it is going to print. So is it clear? Now I will open the IDLE tool. Open a new file. First import Pandas library, assign a meaningful alias name and hold the file pointer in a variable called df. Using pd access the read underscore csv file. Inside just pass the file name. Suppose my file name is sample1.csv. CSV full form is comma separated values. Now, first what I am trying to do, I am trying to print the whole file once. By referring that file pointer, by printing that file pointer, it prints whole all lines of information that is available in the sample1.csv. So first I will save this program with some valid name in my local directory that is available in D drive. So read csv demo.py ISN. But here this program is required an input file. Suppose without creating an input file, if I try to run this program, I will get an error message like no such file found in my directory. Why? Because by default it will look into my local directory. So where this source code is available. See, no such file or directory with the name sample1.csv. In my program, I specified the file name as sample1.csv, but that file was not yet created in my local directories. So it is trying to search. So finally it concludes that no such file or directory existed in my directory. So then we need to open this code. Okay. And here we need to create a file with the name sample. How can we create? So in our system, we have to open Notepad. Notepad is the default editor available in Windows operating system. Here what I am trying to do, comma separated value means the first field is serial number. Assume that I am going to maintain the records of the student, serial number, roll number, name of the student, okay, and branch. Now what is the first student? Serial number 1, roll number for example 0001, name Mahesh, branch suppose IT. Next serial number 2, roll number 2, Suresh, branch 3, Viresh, and branch name. Like that I am going to provide some 4 to 5 records. some any name. Yeah. What is the default name? Before saving, it is shown it as an untitled document. So I need to save. While saving, we need to careful about, we need to save this file under our respective directory which is available on my respective drive. So I am frequently using this drive. So I am going to save this file with the name. What is the name I given? Sample 1. What is the file extension that is given? CSV. Don't forget to give the file extension as .csv. Otherwise, it will save it in the default extension that is called .txt. But here our requirement is comma separated values. So we should give the extension as CSV, and which name we used in our program, the same name we have to use here. Now, I will minimize this file, input file. Now, previously, before creating this file, I got an error message, no such file was found. Now the file is available. Once I run this program, I am able to get all the records: serial number, roll number, name, branch. So what is this left side? Actually 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The left side is called file pointers. So 0 is pointing to the row 1. 1 is pointing to the row 2. Like that we are getting. So when I am printing the file pointer information, it prints all the records. But suppose for example, I need only the top 2 records. How can I do it? So first 2 rows. So we have a function called head function. Inside how many records we want, we need to pass that many number value. So df.head will fetch the top 2 records, means the first 2 records in our file, in our input file that is called sample1.csv. We will watch the output. Once we made any changes, we need to save it and rerun the application once. So what are the first 2 records in my file? This one, serial number 1, roll number 1, and serial number 2, roll number 2. That is the reason it prints only the first 2 rows. Now, if I want to print last 2 rows, how can I do it? I will copy this one. Last 2 rows. Tail. Okay, I will access this one. See, last 2 records in my input file is row number 4, roll number 4 and roll number 5. Okay, total 5 records are there. 1 and 2, roll number 1 and roll number 2 are the first 2 records. Roll number 4 and roll number 5 are the last 2 records. So in this way, we can access the first 2 records, or not only 2, any top. What are the number you specify, that many number of records will be fetched. So as I am maintaining a small file, but in real time, it is a huge volumes of data. Okay, and lakhs of records are there. Out of the lakhs of records, it's not possible to go through the all 1 lakh records at a time. Then you have to split it to so thousand records, like that 10 times, and that is can be done with the help of head function and tail function. And one more is print of df in square brackets :3. So what this slicing function applied on data frame returns. So this returns trying to fetch the row values beginning from 0 index, 1 index up to 2. It won't consider the stop index value. Okay, that means it is going to print the top 3 records in my file. That means the top 3 records are serial number 1, roll number 1, serial number 2, roll number 2, serial number 3, and roll number 3. Yeah, this one. So serial number 1, roll number 1, serial number 2, roll number 2, serial number 3, and roll number 3. So top 3 records are printed with the help of slicing operation. Also, we can do the same job, whatever the job that is done by head function. Similarly, If I use the negative indexing, then it fetches the last 3 records. Instead of fetching the first 3 records, it will fetch the last 3 records like this. So we need to give the beginning index as -3 and don't specify the last index or stop index, so that we will get like this. This way. Yeah. Negative index 3 colon square bracket closing square bracket and closing parenthesis. So this will print the last 3 records in our input file sample1.csv. See, last 3 records are roll number 3, roll number 4, roll number 5. So using head function, I read the top 2 records, I mean first 2 records. Using tail function, I read last 2 records. Using slicing, I read both top 3 records, I mean first 3 records as well as the last 3 records. So in this way, we can use Pandas library to read a input file which is in the format of comma separated values, and we can also read out only top 2 records or top 5 records or top 100 records based on our requirement or application requirement. Similarly, we can also read bottom records up to whatever the number you require. So like this we can handle files, CSV files using Pandas library.